Sam, a pretty weird sort of afternoon. How do you sum all that up?
Yeah, I mean, in the early part of the game, I thought the first quarter they obviously got out to this big lead, but it wasn't through lack of effort. Like, they kicked some pretty impressive goals. We forced them wide, but they were able to make the most of their chances. And then, I thought we were really consistent through the night with pressure, and we were able to be much more consistent. But they had two patches of the game where they just were able to hit the scoreboard too easily, and they scored from turnover. From our half, just in our half of the ground, a bit too easy, and we gave up the 2 runs of goals, and that was really the story of the game. But there was some positives come out of it. I thought we won the inside 50 count, clearances were better, broke even at centre bounce, but we just couldn't stop the scoring. And obviously the Lightning and something completely different in a game that I've never seen before. So I thought we responded to that well, but too little, too late.
How did you go about dealing with that break? Obviously, like you said, you haven't dealt with it before. How did you deal with it in the rooms?
Well, believe it or not, one of our so Max Bailey, he actually predicted that. He said, if that happens, how do we want to handle it? So we knew we knew it was possible. We knew the process. AFL were quite strong with it. In the game between Brisbane and Melbourne, so we knew that there was a process in place with the Lightning. So 30 minutes, new game, 6 goals down. Try to change a couple of things, see if you can get the game on your terms. And I thought the energy in the stadium was fantastic. I was rapt that there was still a lot of people there, a lot of Hawks fans still there, and the noise. And as we started to get a bit of momentum, it felt like anything could happen. But they were just a little bit too polished and a bit too good.
Sam, is Jack Ginnivan umpired differently to other players?
Sorry, I missed that.
Is Jack Ginnivan umpired differently to other players?
I know there's been a lot of talk about it. They briefed me on it, but coaching, you don't go back and look at it. If he is, then the AFL has a process to get in touch with them, and if we re-watch them and have a look and think that he's getting unfair treatment, then I'll get in touch with the AFL this week and get them to have a look at it. But I haven't seen any vision or looked at that at this point.
You spoke about breaking even in clearances there. Obviously, we were plus 11. Lloyd Mead comes in and offers a bit more in terms of that centre bounce and centre square work. What do you think of Lloyd's game?
Yeah, a bit early to tell. We were even in the centre bounce, and then I think we were plus 10 or plus 11 around the ground. So, we've been minus 18 over the first 2 rounds, which has given up huge scores. And again, I think we conceded 4 goals from centre bounce again today. And when you lose a game, I think they kicked 17-4. So it makes it difficult when you're conceding goals like that. And then every time I think twice today we got a goal and it looked like we had a bit of momentum and they were able to get one straight back from a centre bounce. So we still got some work to do. But Lloyd, I thought he worked hard all day, and I think looking at all the boys after the game, they all left it all out there, and that's all you can ask.
Connor Nash seems to have bounced back this week. The 24 touches, 9 clearances and 8 tackles. How much value does he add to a young midfield?
Yeah, I think with Nashy, when he's playing his best, you notice the physicality in his game, and probably suited the Irishman today to have a bit of weather like that. And I think Nashy's a really strong player. He's physical, and he's played enough footy now that that the good performance is just around the corner. I wasn't concerned thinking, Nashy's lost his way. I knew that players of that calibre, they turn it around pretty quickly, and I was pleased that he was able to have a better game today. But it's just one game, so we play again in 6 days over in Adelaide to gather around and play the Pies, and all of our players just have to be able to back up the strength of passion that we played today. Because I think if we played the way we did and with the intent we did today, we were going to win a fair few games of footy.
What's the initial fear with Mitch Lewis and that hamstring?
Unsure. I had a chat to him at the long break, and he said it could be a cramp, it could be a corky, it could be. He was able to play for a little while after it happened, so maybe there's some positivity, but we'll wait and get scans and see what it is.
Will you come back out to play if the length of the break hadn't been that long? Or?
No, he was already a little bit sore, and he probably would have come off, but he noticed that our sub was already activated and out there, so we tried to see if he could keep going. And it's likely it's a hamstring injury, not a corky, but if it's a corky, we are still available for next week, but we'll wait till the scans come and see from there.
And Nick Watson, he went off really late in the game. Does it look like an ankle?
Yeah, ankle got caught under someone. Again, don't have any further information. He'll have scans and get assessment from there.
Disappointing for him because in that last quarter he was really lively and got the crowd going.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's close, isn't he? Like, you watch him play and you're seeing a lot of good things, and he hasn't been able to quite get the finished product, but he's certainly, I mean, his pressure and his energy, his chasing, he's able to, get some impact late in the game, when the weather came down, but he is doing some, I mean, he doesn't look like a first year. When I watch him play, he looks like he's got greater game understanding than that. And so he's gonna have some good moments, and he'll get more consistent as his career goes along.
How's he handled the focus? You haven't seen player arrive with a nickname like that. Every scoring that he's involved in is scrutinised. He hasn't kicked too many goals just yet, but his form today sort of rewarded the faith.
I mean, I think he's. I wouldn't say I've put an enormous amount of faith in him. I think he's earned it. I don't think he's getting a game because he was an early draft pick. That's happened sometimes, but I think he's earned the games that he's had. He's played. He hasn't. He maybe hit the scoreboard, but in the first 2 games he had 7. He'd had 7 shots. I don't know. He at least had 3 today. So he's probably had more scoring shots than any of our other forwards, and it's his first year. So I think he earns what he gets, and he's he hasn't quite. Hit everything the way he would like to today. He had a couple on the falls. So, but I'm really pleased with how he's going as a first year 3 gamer. And I think if you look at, we always talk about as coaches, how are we going in our 3rd game, and he's well in front of that.
Sam Frost walks off the field today, Sam, with Tom Hawkins kicking 4 goals. What can you talk to us about Frosty in terms of his endeavour, these challenges he's been given week after week?
Again, it's really difficult to make an assessment of a player's game straight afterwards. From my eye test, I thought Frosty was fantastic today. Hawkins is his 350th. He kicks 4, but he's kicked 4 in games a lot of times in his career. I mean, he's revolutionised the game, really. If you think about Tom Hawkins, and the big key forward like that was sort of going out of the game until he almost brought it back himself. So I think the influence he's had on the game has been enormous, and for Frosty to stand him for the majority of the day, didn't play him all day, but I thought Frosty held his own for a lot of the game and actually had some great moments for us. I think he was our leading intercept player. I haven't checked it after the game, but for a long period of the game he was really helping us out behind the ball. So I was pleased with him, but also Tom, Big Hawk is going to kick goals, isn't he?
Just take one more.
Just the insufficient intent. Seems a long time ago now, but insufficient intent in the 3rd quarter. Stengel goes back and kicks that goal. How big a momentum shift was that, do you think?
Yes. I was frustrated with not with that call specifically, and not with that, but that I thought we didn't handle. It was obvious they were going to pay the kicking ones today, and so I think we had 2 in the last quarter as well. Last thing we wanted was the ball out of bounds, but I thought we needed to be smarter. We needed to handle. Obviously, they were going to call those ones quickly, and then there were some ball handling ones where they weren't called. So we just need to figure out the way. And when it's slippery, it's obviously quite difficult to know. But the Stengel, you got to give credit. He kicks a goal from close to 50 as a snap in a key moment in the game, and so you have to give credit to Geelong to say that's they got a chance and they took it, and that was the difference between the 2 sides. They took their half chances and we managed to not take 3/4 chances, if that's a thing.